As always, I'm your host with the most, they call me Timothy, and this is another episode of Just a Pod. I realize it's been a minute since we've interacted, since we've talked, since I've posted an episode. I hope you've been well too. Yeah, it's good to connect again with you. It's good to have these sessions. It's good to always have a community to engage with. And just for today, I don't want to talk too much. I just want to engage on a one-on-one basis because I've been feeling like I have this issue and I really need to address it. But how do I address it? The issue to deal with podcasting. I just want to talk to my existing podcasters, the mainstream podcasters, the grassroots podcasters, and even the newbies in this game. Podcasting is it's quite interesting, but it's not easy. When you've chosen a journey to become a podcaster, you've chosen a life of you've decided that your life is no longer private and it has become public. Now you have to be accommodating of whatever is coming, whatever comments, whatever engagements are coming forth, because you decided, like, I want to be a public figure and this is me, this is who I am. Your private matters are no longer private. And it can be quite disheartening for starters, because you come the platform with different expectations. You expect life to be good. You expect your podcast to really shoot up. You expect your episode to be really engaging. So you go ahead and you do quite a lot of episodes, quite long episodes, quite analytic episodes, without a concern in mind that the audiences you're speaking to, what is their attention span, how do they engage with different content, and what is trending, and what do you really need to get out there, because you just can't be researching topics and then recording them, doing audio tapes or doing video tapes and then sharing, because people can also do that on their own. They can just take their phones or their PC and go online and research on the same topic. For upcoming podcasters, and maybe this is something that even the existing podcasters don't realize, that it's because they have numbers that they think people really listen to them. But on the contrary, quite on the contrary, it's because you just have numbers. Just imagine if you are not that famous. And most of the podcasts that people like really listening to is the podcasts that have been done or recorded by podcasters who are in mainstream. So they've really moved with the crowd from the mainstream platform into podcasting. Podcasting is it's like a private space for actually people who haven't been, or maybe have been in the mainstream platform and really haven't had a good time with that. So they decided that, like, this is the channel they want to take to get their voice heard. So you find on most occasions, the mainstream podcasters put out the content that they think people really want to listen to, because they are up to date with the trends. The upcoming podcasters are not up to date with the trends. They might, or they may have, or they are up to date with the trends, but not to an extent like as compared to the mainstream podcasters. So you find at the end of the day, when they put the podcast on each platform that distributes it across, you find there's a difference. There's a difference in engagement, and there's a difference in how many people are listening to. So what I would say is really there's an audience for each and every podcast. It's just up to you to know your audience and to keep on feeding them. But don't feed them to a point where you forget yourself. You're the key aspect in this play. That's not the last podcast that you're doing. So what if you deplete the resources that are within you, or the resources that you have? So you really have to give a certain amount of content and leave the rest for the future. I stopped doing seasons, so I just decided to continue doing episodes. So I feel like this is my 80th or 90th episode, one season specifically being audio. And I find it quite engaging, because the audience that I have is a selected audience that specifically I know they want to listen to a certain thing, but that's not the thing that I give it unto them. It's quite easy. It's like, picture this. It's like you going to a war and you already know how to fight. You already know what's in store for you. You already know the weak points. That's not victory. Victory is when you don't know the war. We don't even know how to fight, but yes, we are going to war. So that you would find it's like a leeway just to listen and say, like, this is a normal content we've listened to. This is something we engage with on a daily basis. So I didn't want to make it look like that. That's why I'm sorry if you find my content not engaging, but that's up to you. Maybe you're not the right audience. But I'm just saying, if you can't relate with the content, then I don't see the reason as to why you're listening. Let's be true to ourselves, yeah? I don't want it to be like a platform, like a mainstream platform whereby people just listen to podcasts because it's engaging or because it's trending. No, I want people to listen to the content because they can learn something, they can pick something, and we can share. They can share whatever they know about the same topic on the comment section, and we can get to interact. That's a meaningful engagement. I don't want just to engage because you're my friend, or I have a lovely face, or it's a common face, or it's a common topic, or maybe the way I'm dissecting the topic is nice and it's engaging to you. I don't want you to listen to my podcast because of those premeditated factors. I want you to listen to the content because you know there's something you're going to learn from it, or you can correct me on something that I've said wrongly on a certain episode. So that's the main reason as to why I do my podcast. I don't give you what you want. I give you what I know is essential. To an extent, it was intentional for me to stop doing the episodes and decided, let me fully focus on my project in my community. I can handle both. I've handled both. I've handled doing podcasts. I've handled my professional work. I've handled my community work at the same time at a certain point in my life. So what makes you think that it would be hard for me to handle two things, my community project and my podcast? No, it was not hard. It was just I decided like I really need, let me give it a pause. Let these people continue feeding on the material that's already provided. Knowledge can never get old. As much as you've previewed it over and over again, knowledge never gets old. You might be listening on this episode this time and you get a different perspective. Next time you listen to it, you get a different epiphany. And then the way you understand it, the way you dissect it, the way maybe you are in a different situation and then you get to listen to a different episode and then you get a different understanding. That's why I tell you, it varies and it never gets old. So that's why I decided there's a little bit enough material for you all to listen. And so I need a little bit of a break to go and focus on something else so that I can get even more material from the engagement that I had with my community. Back to mainstream podcasters and grassroots podcasters. Engagements can be really hurting, mostly when you've paid for a space to hold a session for an hour or two. You've invited a guest, you've catered for the logistics and refreshments and so forth for the guest. You've paid for the camera, you've paid for the lighting, you've paid for the editor. You've involved yourself heavily into producing one session, and then it disappoints you. Well, it happens to the best of us. I'm at that level where you'd expect me to be because it's been close to six years, specifically since I started, 6 or 7 years tentatively. I'm not there yet, but at least I'm somewhere. I can manage my own, and I'm not disappointed wherever my podcast doesn't even hit 100 views online. I'm contented because I know, like, this is my podcast. This, to an extent, was not a way of engaging you at a larger extent. This was a process for me also. Maybe I was healing, so I decided to do this. Yeah, and as time goes by, I realized that whenever you do a thing that you can learn from, that's the greatest victory, because you thought you could never learn from yourself. But as time goes by, you realize, oh, I can surprise myself too. So yeah, I've been surprising myself over and over again, and that's why I'm here. I have not been consistent, but yeah, consistency at times is not what we expect. Consistency means maybe you're just sticking to the goal. You're not trusting the process, but you're just sticking to the process. So yeah, that's consistency for me. And I feel like young podcasters who are still coming up and are still venturing into this space, it's a good space. Yeah, it's a good space. There are no buts. There are no buts. It's a good space. And you need to venture into it. Venture into it with, put on the whole armor of God and venture into it. It's a nice place. It gets you paid. Maybe on endorsements, or maybe if you are lucky enough to garner a lot of views and a lot of interactions here, you get paid from the mainstream platform, you get paid by YouTube and so forth. But what is your reason for starting the podcast? Yeah, I'm not going to dwell into that, but what is your reason, honestly, for starting a podcast? Is it a trend for you? Do you see other people doing it, so you want to do it? Or you feel like you have equipment, so you just want to do it? We'll be having these sessions over and over, but expect them as they come. Take these away, like a takeaway.